My name is Melissa, and I'll be taking you through your classes this semester. Make sure that you have a yoga mat or a beach towel, some water, and be sure you're wearing comfortable clothes. Go ahead and sit comfortably on that mat. On the mat, you can sit on your knees, you can sit with your legs crossed or with your legs extended, whatever you find most comfortable. Take a minute just to settle in and get some nice deep breaths in and out through the nose. With every breath in, we're lifting and lengthening, so we've got tall posture. And with every exhale, we're trying to settle and relax the muscles, specifically the shoulders. Take a minute to bring your awareness to where you feel like your breath is beginning in your body. So do you feel like your breath starts more in the chest? Does your breath start in the shoulders? Maybe in the nose? Or possibly down in the belly? So take a minute just to notice where you feel like your breath begins as you inhale. We're going to start intentionally deepening the breath. So with every breath in through the nose, we're bringing that air all the way down to the bottom of the belly. So as we draw the breath in, the belly expands. And as we exhale, the belly sinks down. Try that breath a few times, breathing in through the nose, letting the belly expand like a balloon. And then exhale, settling in. If you sing in a choir or you play an instrument, you are probably familiar with that belly breathing. It's not a natural breath. It's not something that we normally do. We usually breathe with our chest, which leads to stress and tension up through the shoulders. So take a minute just to use that diaphragm, expand the belly, and then exhale, relax. While you're sitting here with your deep breath, try to scan your body from head to toe, noticing any spots of stress or tension that you brought with you to class today. If you notice any tightness or tension, try to use your exhale to relax that specific muscle group. So for example, my shoulders are often tight, so I'm going to use my breath out to push my shoulders down and try to soften and relax those muscles. We're staying here for 3 to 4 more breath cycles. And when you're ready, go ahead and find a tabletop. So we're coming into a tabletop, stacking the joints on top of each other. We're starting with a back leg lift. So take your right leg, extend it towards the back of the mat. Toe is pointed. We're lifting up so that the leg is parallel to the ground, and then we're dropping back down to the ground. Lifting up and lowering down. Keep that momentum going. Take a minute to check in with your elbows. Make sure that you're not locking the joints. Every time we lift that leg, we're squeezing the glutes, strengthening the low back. Two more, and then we pulse for 12. So lift that leg up. It's a quick kick for 12. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest in a quick child's pose. We're bringing our hips down towards the heels. The forehead rests on your stacked fists or all the way down to the mat. Get a few deep breaths there. And we're on to the next side. Go ahead and find your way back into a tabletop. Lining up the joints. The left leg extends to the back, toes are pointed. Lift until you're parallel and drop down. Lifting and lowering. Every time we lift the leg, we're extending or reaching through the toes, almost like you're trying to tap the wall behind you. Three more, and then we pulse for 12. Here's the last one. Good. Bring that leg back up. 12, 11, 10. 3, 2, and 1. Drop to a tabletop. Right away, we're tucking the toes. We're extending to a down dog. So we're shaped like an upside down letter V. The head and the neck are completely relaxed. The hands press forward, and we're sinking down into the heels. So we have length in the back of the legs. Take a few breaths here. We're into a down dog split. So point your right toes to the back. Lift the right leg up as high as you're able to. And then bend your knee, pull it forward, and take a giant step through. Come up to a high lunge. So that right foot is in the front, the right knee is bent. The feet are on 2 separate tracks. All 10 toes face the front. Shoulders are over the hips, ribs are open wide, palms face each other. Take a few more nice deep breaths here. And we're finding our way back into that down dog split. So reach the arms to the side, lead with the ribs. Palms come down to the mat. Take your right foot, shoot it straight up and out, and then drop the leg down. Good, get a few stabilizing breaths here. Same thing on the left side. The left toes point to the back. Extend the leg up toward the ceiling. Bend the knee, take a giant step through, grounding into the front foot, breathing in, finding that high lunge. We're pressing and anchoring into our back heel. Even if it's not touching the mat, we're sinking down. Two more deep breaths. Good, drop the ribs down, reach the arms to the side, palms come to the mat, shoot your legs straight out into a down dog split, and lower that foot down. Soften the knees, take baby steps, walking the feet forward. Take a deep breath in, arms come all the way up. Leaving that right arm up, breathe out, take your left hand, finding the left hip, we're into a side bend. Opening and expanding through the right side of the body. Good, come back up to center, breathe out, drop the arm down, breathe in, circle, sweep the arms up. Good, exhale to a forward fold, arms reach out to the sides, we're diving down to a forward fold. Resting the hands on the legs or on the mat. We're pressing into the heels. We're lifting up through the legs and the sitting bones. One more deep breath. Soften the knees, circle, sweep the arms all the way up. Deep breath in. This time the left arm stays extended. That right arm comes down to the right hip. Press into the hip with the hand, opening to a side bend. Keeping that bottom shoulder relaxed. Good, back to center, exhale, drop the arm down, breathe in, right away, sweep the arms up. We're breathing out to a forward fold. Now we take a breath in and we lift about halfway up. So the Back is going to straighten out parallel to the mat. We're resting our hands on the shins or just above the knees. So from the tailbone to the crown of the head is a nice straight line. Now we're dropping into a forward fold again, bending both knees slightly. Take a breath in, send the arms up. Palms come together. Roll the shoulders back, lifting those ribs up toward the ceiling. We're breathing just into the rib cage now, so it's a shallow breath. Lifting and arching from the low back. Good, come back to center. Exhale, swan dive down. Palms come to the mat. We're stepping back to a high plank or a kneeling plank. Just a few reminders. If you're choosing to do a high plank, form is really important because having inappropriate form can lead to injury. So a couple reminders if you're choosing the high plank is that the shoulders are directly over the wrists. We want to be careful not to drop into what I call a banana back. So make sure that your low back is not sinking down toward the mat. This puts strain on that lumbar spine. And we don't want to be in a partial down dog. As you can see with my head looking forward, this puts strain on the neck and on the shoulders. So we want to be a nice straight plank, a straight board. Another option is knees down, hips forward into a kneeling plank. So choose whichever one you'd like. We've got 2 breaths. And we rest in a child's pose. You can leave your arms extended. You can tuck your arms in next to the body or stack your fists on top of each other. We're staying here for a total of 8 breath cycles. So 1 inhale and 1 exhale is 1 cycle. We're reconnecting with our breathing. We're settling down into the mat, relaxing. And take a minute just to check in with yourself again. Maybe doing that same scan from head to toe, noticing how the body feels. 3 more breaths. Good, coming up to a tabletop, tucking those toes right away. We're back to a down dog. Soften the knees, take baby steps, walking the feet forward. Take a deep breath in, circle sweep the arms all the way up. And then staying upright, go ahead and drop those arms down. We're into a warrior 2. So the right foot is in the front, the left foot is in the back. The right toes point to the front. The back heel will be on the same line as your right heel. Hips are turned to the long side of the mat. Extend the arms out. Shoulders float directly over the hips. We're looking out over the right fingertips. And we're being careful not to rotate that front knee in. So keep your knee pointing to your middle toes. Stay here for a few deep breaths. Now we're straightening out the front knee. Reach your right arm to the front first. This lines up the spine. Then the right arm drops down, the left arm points up. We're into what's called a triangle. Both legs are straight, the shoulders are stacked. That top arm extends up toward the ceiling. We're pushing or grounding into the outer edge of the back foot. Two more breaths. To come out of this pose, we bend the front knee, stack it on top of the ankle, and we come back up to a warrior 2. Couple more deep breaths. Now the back arm drops down, the right arm opens into a reverse warrior. So we're relaxing that left shoulder. We're reaching up and extending. You can reach straight forward, or you can take it to a bit of a side bend, whatever you find best for your shoulders today. Take 3 more deep breaths. Good. Go ahead and drop that arm down. We're changing sides. So the left foot steps to the front. The right foot is in the back. Toes are pointed to the top of the mat. Arms are extended. Shoulders float over the hips. From the hips down, push or ground. From the waist up, lift and extend. Building strength into the legs, strength into the arms and the shoulders. Reach with the front arm like you're trying to touch the front wall, and reach through the back arm like you're trying to touch the back wall. 1 more deep breath. Straightening out that front knee, shift by reaching the left arm to the front first. The left arm comes down, the right arm extends up. Ribs are wide and open to that side wall. Press into the outer edge of your back foot. You can look up, down, or straight ahead. 2 more deep breaths here. To come out of this pose, bend the front knee, press back up to your warrior 2, keeping strong, stable, sturdy arms. 2 to 3 more deep breaths, and we're back to a reverse warrior. The back arm drops down, the left arm extends. Reach like you're trying to create space between each rib on the left side of the body. One more deep breath. Cartwheel those hands down to the mat, step back to a down dog, and we're starting a pedaling motion. Pushing one heel down and then the other. Keep pressing forward through the hands. And now we're going to start to flow a down dog with a high plank. Another option is to flow a child's pose with a kneeling plank. So if you're doing the first option, press through your feet, straighten out the back like a board, and then send that tailbone straight back up to the ceiling. And then shoulders float over the wrist, tighten up through the belly, and back to your down dog. So you're going to go back and forth. Another option is to be down into a child's pose, come up to a tabletop, drop the hips forward. Here's our kneeling plank. And then sink back to your child's pose. And back to your kneeling plank. So pick whichever option you'd like today. We've got 2 more sets. And drop your knees into a tabletop. We're into a cat-cow stretch. We're dropping the belly, lifting the chin, tilt that tailbone up. Take a deep breath in. And then breathing out, round and arch through the back. And then drop the belly, lift the chin. Breathing in. Exhale, round and curl. Take it through a few more of those, working at your own perfect pace today. Whatever your breathing is like, will set the pace for this exercise. And we'll go ahead and rest in a quick child's pose, keeping those arms extended, knees open wide, forehead down to the mat. Or if you want to be up a little bit higher today, stack those fists on top of each other. This is a shorter rest, so we'll stay here for 4 breath cycles. When you're ready, go ahead and find your way back into a tabletop. We're onto a spinal balance. So we're extending the right arm out. The thumb is on top. The left foot pushes to the back. The foot is flexed. So we're extending and lengthening through the heel. And then we drop back down into a tabletop and change sides. The left arm extends. The right leg presses back. And then drop down. So we're flowing it with the breath. Here's the breath in. Here's the breath out. Breathing in and out. Keep that pattern going. We're being careful not to droop down. We also don't want to overextend. So keep a nice straight, sharp line. The chin is slightly tucked, so we're looking straight down at the mat. We've got one more on each side. Good. Tuck the toes. Lift the tailbone back up to the ceiling. This time we're taking our hands and walking them towards our feet. So take your hands, press them towards your feet. Soften the knees. Circle sweep the arms all the way up. Deep breath in. Breathing out to a forward fold. Walking the hands back out to a high plank. Pause here. And then a down dog. Good. Walk the hands to the feet. Soften the knees. Circle sweep all the way up. Reach for the ceiling. Exhale, swan diving down. Good. Walk those hands back out to your high plank. Pause. Extend the tailbone up. Release the shoulders. Walk the hands toward the feet. We have 2 more sets. Here's our last one. Use your exhale to pour the ribs forward. And find a down dog. We're into a down dog split on the right. Send the right toes up. Bend the knee, float it forward. Take a giant step through, turning the back heel. We're coming up to a warrior 1. We're remembering that a warrior 1 and a high lunge look very similar. The difference is the foot placement of the back foot. So in a high lunge, all 10 toes face the front, feet are on 2 separate tracks. In a warrior 1, the heels are on the same line, so the back foot is shifted off to the side slightly. Once you have your arms in place, we're activating the legs by pushing the front foot forward. We're pushing the back foot to the back. Shoulder blades anchor down, fingertips and crown of the head extend. Keeping a nice bend in that front knee. And we're turning to a warrior 2. So the front knee stays bent. Knee points to the middle toes. Shoulders are stacked. We're breathing deeply. Straightening out the front knee, reach the right arm to the front. The right arm drops down, the left arm points up. We're back to a triangle. but we're adding some movement for the arms. So take a deep breath in. When you're ready to breathe out, take your top arm, your left arm, and close it down towards your right hand. And then breathe in. Sweep the arm back up to the ceiling. And then again, exhale, close. Both legs are straight. Inhale, open. Good, 2 more times. Breathing out. Inhaling. And last time, full exhale. And we're breathing in. Good, bend the front knee, come back up to your warrior 2. Taking a few breaths here. Stay strong and grounded through the legs and the feet. Being careful not to drop the arms down. We're bending our right elbow. The forearm comes down to the right leg. The left arm extends. We're into arm circles. So take your left arm, reach it up and overhead. Point your fingers to the ground. Point to the wall behind you. And then straight back up to the ceiling. Good, 1 more time. Once that arm is extended, we're doing 2 rotations to the back. Here's our final rotation, and we're following through in a warrior 2. So lift and settle back into your warrior 2 position. Taking those hands, cartwheel them down to the mat. Step your front foot back to a down dog. We're into a down dog split on the left. Bend the knee, float it towards your nose. Big step through, turn that back heel. Ground into the feet and extend up through the spine and the crown of the head. Warrior 1. Keeping those legs active by pressing the feet away from each other. When you're ready, turn to your warrior 2. Arms come down parallel to the ground. We're looking over the left fingers. Be careful not to shift. That puts a little extra pressure in the hips and the low back. So keep the shoulders directly on top of the hips. Straightening out the front knee, shift into your triangle. Take a deep breath in, the right arm points up, and exhale, close. Breathing in, open, stack the shoulders, open the ribs. Breathe out, close the body over that front leg. 2 more times. Good. Once we have that arm back extended up toward the ceiling, we're bending the front knee. Come into your warrior 2. Stabilizing here for a few breaths, and then we'll drop the left arm down for the shoulder rotation. Bending that left elbow, the left forearm comes down. Point the arm straight up to the ceiling, and then start 2 rotations to the front. We're reaching and extending through the arm the entire time. So we're not just simply drawing circles, but we're adding some dynamic tension through the arms. Good, 2 rotations to the back. Use this final rotation to follow through to a warrior 2. 2 more deep breaths. Good. Drop those arms down. Turn back to the top of your mat. We're getting ready for a forward fold with a chest expansion. So standing nice and tall, roll the shoulders back, clasp onto your hands behind your tailbone. Take a breath in, draw the shoulder blades together. As we breathe out, we're diving the head down, folding the body in half. The knees stay soft. We're drawing the shoulder blades toward the spine. We're drawing our elbows towards each other. So the ribs are wide and open towards the legs. Sink into the heels, lift up through the hips. And it's almost like we're trying to loop our arms up overhead. Really getting a good release all through the back. The upper back and the lower back. One more deep breath. Good. Drop those arms down. Soften the knees. Circle sweep the arms all the way up. Good. That right arm stays extended. The left hand comes to the hip. Just like we did in the warm-up, take it to a side bend. Being careful not to turn and rotate the shoulder. So keep those shoulders wide and open. Coming back to center, breathe out, drop the arm down, breathe in, circle sweep, both arms up. Good, exhale, swan dive, pour the ribs forward. Take a breath in, come halfway up, straighten out the back, resting the hands. Exhale to a forward fold again. Soften the knees, circle sweep the arms all the way up. Now the left arm stays extended, that right hand comes to the right hip. Side bend. Back to center. Exhale, drop the arm. Breathe in, circle sweep. Breathe out, dive forward. Take a breath in, pull the back up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Good, soften the knees, circle sweep the arms all the way up. Palms come together. Drop those shoulder blades back, lifting the ribs up toward the ceiling into a back bend. Come back to center, breathe out, swan dive down. We're into a forward fold. We've got a few breaths here, and we're coming right from a forward fold to a chair pose. So get a couple breaths. And then to transition into that chair pose, we're bending the knees, we're sitting the hips back, and we're peeling those ribs up. Arms extend. We're being careful to keep our knees stacked directly over the ankles, so we're not doing this, but those knees are on top of the ankles. And you can always bring your palms together instead. It takes a little bit of pressure off the low back. 2 more deep breaths. And we're onto a chair flow. Straighten the knees, sweep the arms up, palms come together. Exhale, pull the hands down to the heart center. Settle down into your chair squat. And then straighten the knees, reach up. Good, exhale, chair. Most of our weight is carried in the heels, but we're being mindful to keep the toes in full contact with the mat the entire time. You can choose your own perfect range of motion with just a tiny bend in the knees, or you can do a full range of motion, bending the knees and settling the hips down far. We've got 2 more, and then we're going to stay low and pulse for 12. So here's our last one. We're staying low, and we're just moving the knees up and down. Here's 4, 3, 2, stay down on 1, hold and breathe. Ground into the heels, press into the toes. Straightening out through those knees, circle sweep the arms all the way up, and then exhale, dropping down. Good, we're turning to the long side of the mat, opening the feet out wide. There's 2 different ways you can hold your feet. One is to line the sides of the feet with the top and bottom of the mat. That usually feels kind of weird to my knees, so I point my toes open towards the outer edges, the corners of the mat. So either one is fine for alignment. Find what works best for your anatomy. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale. We're hinging from the hip, and we're dropping our hands down to the ground. If it's comfortable, walk your arms forward and lower your ribs down like you would in a down dog. The head and the neck are completely relaxed, so you can maybe shake or nod your head. Take a few more breaths here, and then we'll be adding on some twisting. If you chose to extend your arms, walk your hands back in so they're more underneath the shoulders. Take your right arm and cross it to your left ankle. The left arm points up to the ceiling. So we're dropping and sinking through the right shoulder blade and lifting and extending through the left arm. When you're ready to breathe out, drop that left arm down. Walk those hands forward again, lower the ribs. Relax the head and the neck. We're grounding through the entire perimeter of the foot. So press down evenly through your foot, almost like you're trying to draw a circle, drawing the perimeter of each foot on your mat. When you're ready, take your left hand, reach it towards your right ankle. That right arm points up. We're doing our best to stack the shoulders. So this is a good flexibility move for the shoulders. Breathing out, we're dropping that arm down. Release that upper back again by walking the hands forward. And then slowly walking the hands back underneath the shoulders, soften the knees. We're coming up very, very slowly. We've been completely upside down. So work your way back up in sections just to stabilize the blood pressure. If you ever feel dizzy or you get what we call a yoga head rush, sink down to your mat and rest in a child's pose. Go ahead and step those feet together. You can stay facing the long portion of your mat if you'd like. We're onto a tree pose. So we're shifting our weight to our right foot. The left foot finds a spot on the right leg. Breathe in. Send the arms up. Every day is different. So some days balance is easy. Some days it's challenging. Multiple things play into that. Our balance can be affected by what we did previously that day or the day before. It can be affected by how much water we've consumed. So take a minute just to be patient with yourself and find a strong tree pose. Breathing out, drop that foot down, switch sides. The left foot is our grounded leg. The right foot finds a spot. Usually one side is a little bit more cooperative in standing balances. So the purpose of this exercise is that we're bringing balance and stability to both sides of the body. We're uneven, we're not symmetrical. We have a stronger side, a more dominant side, a more flexible side. So a big purpose of yoga is to bring balance, because if the body is balanced, it's less likely to experience injury. And if we do experience injury, we recover more quickly. One more deep breath. Go ahead and plant that foot and drop the arms down. Nice job. Go ahead and come all the way down to your mat. It's a good spot for a drink. If you would like one, take a minute just to get some deep breaths, grab a drink. And we're on to some stretches. We'll be starting with a pigeon, and I'll give a second option for pigeon if you find that it's uncomfortable for your knees or your hips. So the first option for pigeon is to extend up into a down dog. We bend our right knee, pull that foot through, and we cross it on a diagonal. Take the back foot, point it to the back, and then push the hips and the tailbone down. So here's pigeon. You can also come down to what's called a sleeping pigeon. The forearms come down to the mat, stack your fists, and rest your forehead. But like I mentioned, sometimes this is not kind to the knees. So another option is to do a laying down pigeon, also known as a figure 4 stretch. So if you're choosing that today, we're rolling all the way down to the back. The right leg is extended, the foot is flexed, and the left ankle crosses over the right knee. We reach down behind the right leg and draw the legs in together. So go ahead and choose whichever form of pigeon sounds best to you today. And take a few breaths just to relax and to sink down. We're letting the low back and the hips relax. We're letting the ribs relax. The shoulder and the upper back are soft. We're staying here for 4 more breaths. We come out of this pose the same way we came into it. Palms come to the mat. Tuck your back toe, lift to a down dog, and we change sides. So that left knee bends. Cross the leg through. Extend the right toes. Push the tailbone down. Stay upright, or find a sleeping pigeon, or flipping onto the back into a laying down pigeon. Take 3 more breaths here. Good, palms come to the mat. Tuck your back toe. Lift into a quick down dog. From a down dog, bend both knees, finding a tabletop. And we're into a puppy stretch. So the hips stay stacked directly on top of the knees. We're walking the hands forward and bringing the forehead down to the mat. So the elbows can be bent with the arms resting on the ground, or you can extend your arms forward, whatever you find most comfortable. When you're ready, press yourself back up to a tabletop. Tuck your back toes so the toes are down, the heels point up. Take the hands, walk them towards the leg, and sink the hips down. We're getting a stretch here for the soles of the feet. So we're getting an opening and a stretching through the sole of the foot. Try to let the toes relax and separate a little bit. And when you're ready, find your way back to a tabletop. From here, we're coming all the way down to our back. So go ahead and flip around to your back. We're resting in what's called a candlestick. The arms are down and we're extending the feet up to the ceiling. The toes are pointed. The purpose of a candlestick, our legs have some of our biggest muscles. And so when we extend and elevate the legs above the heart, all of the blood from the legs that's been working through those standing poses like the warrior series, all of that blood comes back into the vital organs, into the stomach, the heart, the lungs, the brain. So it's a little bit of a natural pick-me-up, and it's a good way just to bring some balance to the body. Stay here for 2 to 3 more breaths. Bending both knees, draw the knees into the ribs. This is our laying down form of child's pose. Get 3 to 4 breaths here, and then we're on to a progressive relaxation. We're extending the legs all the way down to the mat, and the arms are next to the body. Take a few normal breaths in and out through the nose. In a progressive relaxation, we specifically work through each muscle group of the body, tightening and tensing, and then using our exhale to relax and release that specific muscle group. And it leaves you almost feeling like you just had a nice massage. So it's a great way to relax as we get ready to transition to our final relaxation. So we'll be breathing in through the nose, and this time we're breathing out through the mouth. So normally in yoga, we're breathing in and out through the nose. But for a progressive relaxation, we breathe in through the nose and we exhale through the mouth. We're starting down at the feet. Take a breath in and tighten up your toes. Draw a deep breath in. Pause the breath. Keep that tension through the toes. And then breathe out through the mouth and relax the toes. Breathe in, tightening and tensing the calf muscles. Draw that deep breath in, hold the breath, hold the tension, and then breathe out through the mouth and relax the calves. Onto the upper leg, the quads, the thighs, the hamstrings. Breathe in, tightening up through the legs. Pause the breath, hold the tension, and then exhale through the mouth and relax the legs. Onto the glutes, breathing in, tightening and tensing through the glutes. Hold the breath, keep that tension. And then a full exhale through the mouth, relaxing the glutes. We're onto our core, so the belly, the sides, and the low back. Breathe in, tightening up through the core. Pause, hold the tension. Full exhale, relaxing the core. Onto the hands, breathe in, tightening up the hands. Make a tight, tight fist. Good, pause. As we breathe out through the mouth, we relax and open the hands, letting them curl open. Breathe in, tightening up through the arms. Hold it. Exhale, soften the arms. Onto the shoulders. Breathe in, drawing those shoulders up toward the ears, tightening and tensing the shoulders and the base of the neck. And then breathe out, relax, push the shoulders down and back. Onto the jaw in the lower portion of the face. Take a deep breath in, clenching the teeth, tightening up through the lips, the nose, the cheeks. Hold the tension. Breathe out through your mouth, relax the lower portion of your face. And then finally breathe in, tightening up all the muscles of the face, the eyebrows, the forehead, the upper cheeks, the ears, the scalp. So we're scrunching up the face, breathing in. Pause. And breathe out. Relax and soften the face. 2 times, we're doing the entire body together. Breathe in, tightening up every single muscle group. Pause. And then breathe out through the mouth. Relax, open, soften. Last time, breathing in. And exhale, soften. Go ahead and move on to your final relaxation. Set your timer at home for anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. Stay here on your mat, breathing deep and being still. Thank you.